Hey guys, welcome to the third video on the UNIX tutorial. In this video I will go over some more basic commands that you might use, and then in the next video I'll be going over two of the I would say, like, two of the most complex commands in Unix system. And actually one of them actually has its own language that you can use in the command, so it's pretty cool, like a lot of stuff that you can do with just one command. Anyway, but in this tutorial we'll go over just some maybe simple ones, but for each command I will go over, like, the most frequently used options that you might use. So yeah, before that, again, I want to mention about the Facebook, my Facebook page, facebook.com/FusiCast. Make sure to subscribe to it. It's easier for me to distribute my videos. Also check out the FusiCast.com, that's the blog. And I also did, after I made the Vim tutorials, I thought maybe I should also make Eclipse and IntelliJ IDE tutorials. So I think I would do that simultaneously with the Unix tutorials. So just for those Java fans out there. And then also make sure to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And also, make sure you guys comment. Any questions you have, any comments you have, it's always welcome. And I have already heard like some really great comments from a couple guys. One of them is Francois or something. He said, set is not read only, try to use the -I switch. I tried that, it works. Thank you, Francois. If I pronounce it wrong, I'm sorry. And I have some people who like the comments, and yes, make yourself part of this web blog. Input your comments, and yeah. So I'll appreciate it. And then just subscribe to my WordPress blog. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Okay. So let's clear this one. Okay, so the first command I want to do is the data usage command, DU. Okay, when you get a DU, okay, it gets all the size of the file size of all the files from your current directory, and recursively goes into each directories and looking for files and list out their file sizes. Sometimes you just want to see, like, which one is using up the most space. You can do that. But usually I just want to find out how much storage I'm using right now in my home directory, how much, or in whatever my current directory, how much storage I'm using right now. What you can do -du -s, okay, to get the number of bytes. Okay, now if you of course you don't want to calculate that in to like MB, megabytes, or kilobytes, or even gigabytes. So what you can do -du -sh. Okay, -sh. S is for summary, H is for like a human friendly output. So if you enter that, you get like a 91 MB. Okay, so it's more clear on, like, how much you have, how much you're using in there. Okay, another command is for like a data file system, df. If you press enter, okay, and you will see like which devices is mounted to like which file system, and so on and so on. And you see like how much disk space you have, how much you have used, how much you have available, and then where is it mounted to, where is each device mounted to. So that's that. Okay. And the next one is copy. Okay. Okay, so copy, right, is CP. Okay, so you have CP. Let's make some files. Okay. Example .pl. Let's copy that to file 1. .txt, okay, and then let's copy that file1 to file2.txt. Okay, so I just did copy. Okay, I just did copy copy one to file1 to file2, and you know, if you need to copy it to a directory, you can do copy file1.txt and then the directory name. Okay, which is I have here is a test2. Okay, and then just press enter. Now if you just specify the where you want to copy it to, right, if you just specify the directory in your second parameter, it will preserve the same file name. So what that means is that it will preserve that with a new copy of the file, it will preserve the file name, which it will also be called file1.txt. So if I press enter right now and then I go to test2 directory, and then you will see you see file1 is still here. Yeah, so it preserves the file name. Okay, so if you can also, like, you know, if you want to rename it, you can do that too. If you have to copy to another directory, but you want to have a different name, you know, you can do, you know, you specify your file name. You know, in this case, I just specify the new file name for the copy. So if I do that, okay, and then you see that I have the new file1 in here. Okay. Okay, so another example here. You copy one file, two, file three. Okay, so now if you need to copy the whole directory, right? Okay, let's say we have so let's say you want to recursively copy something, right? So let's say I want to copy directory downloads and everything inside downloads. I want to copy that, and then want to copy it to test2 directory. Okay, so I'm going to make a copy of downloads directory into there. Okay, it's taking some time. I hope I don't have a lot of stuff in there. Okay, alright, finish. So now if I go into test2, okay, and then I see the downloads in there. Okay, I see the download in there. Okay, now so you see that I put in a -R and -F. Okay, -R is for recursive. Okay, what that means is like it will go into the directory structure and recursively go into each every content, even the directories in there. It will go through there recursively and copy everything in there, and then put it into test2. Okay, so that's what the -R is for. And then F is for the forcing. It's like basically ignoring any errors, any like warnings. Okay, so it will not. So if you put F, right, it will not prompt you anything. Okay, even if you like even if you have to, if you're gonna replace something, it will not prompt you. Okay, so you put F in there. So that's what you do when you basically when you try to copy a directory. That's what you want to, that's what you want to do, because you can't really like copy a directory without RF. You have to use like RF to copy a directory. Okay, now sometimes, you know, you want to make sure that you're not overwriting anything, right? So let's say I want to copy file1.txt to file2.txt, right? But here I already have a file2 here. Okay, maybe you don't want to overwrite that. You didn't know there was a file2, but you know, just to make sure you're not overwriting anything. Okay, you want to make sure that you want to check that file2 does not exist before you make a copy. So you put a -I in there, and then it will prompt you if you want to overwrite that. Okay, so you put Y or N, you know, to respond to, you know, this question. Okay, so if you put Y, it will overwrite, and then no, it will not. Okay, so that's for like you know, just to be sure, just to make sure that you're not overwriting existing files. Okay, now you could also copy multiple files into one directory. Okay, what you can do is that you can do cp file1.txt, file2.txt, and then maybe another file pro.pl, and then you want to copy it to test2 directory, right? So basically you specify all the files you need, and then in the last parameter, okay, you specify your directory, and if we do that, it will copy all these files into there. Okay, And then the next one is okay, so let's do a demonstration, right? Let's do a demonstration. So I'm going to change the permission on this one. Okay. Okay, so by default, if you copy file 1, so file 1 has like all the permissions set, right? So by default, if you copy file 1 to another file, it will not preserve the permissions. Okay, so right now if I do cp file1.txt and then file3.txt, right? Okay, now you see this one has everything set, but this one does not. Okay, so that means it does not preserve all the permissions. Okay, what you can do if you want to preserve the permissions, so let's delete the file 3. Okay, you can just do cp -p for preserve file1.txt, file3.txt. okay, and then you will get all the permissions right here. Okay, all right. So we mentioned about the link, right? A link, there's a hard link and then the soft link. Okay, a hard link is basically so like a copy of a file. Okay, a soft link is more like a Windows shortcut. It points to another file. Okay, now for soft link you can link across different file systems, but for hard link you cannot do that. Okay, so just remember those two important, so you have to remember that. But most of the time I never had to, unless you're a system admin, you might have to like link to another file system. But for me, I never really used try to link to another file system. So there are multiple ways to create a link. Okay, but for files, right, you can do it. You can also use a CP. But CP, instead of creating a copy of the file, you can create a link of the file. Okay, so what you will do is like the first parameter you put in the file, the original file, and then the second parameter you put in the link, the name of the link. Okay, so now when you see it, okay, now you see link 1 is pointing to file 1. Okay, now this I don't believe it works for the folders, for the directories. Let me see. No, yeah, it doesn't do that. It does not do that. Force? No, not even that. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't do that. So it only links to a file. Okay. Now, if you need to link to a directory, okay, what you can do is you have to use another command. It's called ln for link, and then you have to put -s for soft link. Okay, now ln -s. Okay, and then the directory. Okay, let's downloads, and then the link name. Okay, now you will see. Okay, now you see the link to is linked to downloads. Okay, so these are all very simple stuff, very straightforward, basic stuff. Okay, now okay, now if we need to change the existing file's name to another name, right, we could use the mv. Okay, mv, and then this is the original. First parameter is the original, and then the second parameter is the new file name. Okay, so I'm gonna change the file 3.txt to file 4.txt. Okay, so if I do that, my file 3 has been changed to file 4. Okay, this one right there. All right. Same thing with another way is like a mv-i. Same thing as the cp-i. It prompts you before you overwrite another file. Okay, so if we're gonna change, let's say if we change the file 1.txt to file 4.txt, but this file 4 is already there already, right? Maybe you don't want to overwrite it. You don't want to overwrite existing files. So what you can do a -i to prompt you, to overwrite or not. Okay, so I just put an n in there, and it won't overwrite. All right. Same thing for directories. If you put mv, then you want to try to change the test2. to test 1, you know, you can do that, change the name, you know, change that. But if you need to move a directory into another directory, right, of course the second parameter has to be existing, you know, the directory has to be there already, so you can do that. Okay, so you know, even though both parameters of directories, okay, this in the first example I have the MV and then both of them are directories, and then the second example I have the MV and then we have the both of them are directories. Okay, the difference is that like the first one, the test one was not there before. Okay, so if you change it to something that's not existing, it will just do a changing the name. Okay, but if you do an MV to another existing directory, you're basically moving that directory to another directory. So that's what it is. So if I do that right now, it will move in there. So if I do the look into the downloads directory, I see the test one in there. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it out again. So to bring it out again here. Okay. Oh. Yeah, okay, it's there. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so the next one is head. Okay, so if you need to see, like maybe you want to see the first 10 lines in the file, you know, you can do a head and then, you know, the file name, and then you will see the first 10 lines. Okay, now if you need to see like maybe the first 100 lines, you know, then you can do a head minus 100. Okay, and you see the first 100 lines. Okay, so this you know, this could be any number, you know, it could be like 200 or 30 or whatever, however you want it to be. Okay, so that's how you use the head. And there's another command called tail. Okay, and obviously you can guess is tail displays the last 10 lines of a file by default if you don't specify the line numbers. Okay, so it will display the last oh, it's pretty okay, the last 10 lines of a file. Now if you specify the line number, okay, then it will be different, right? Let's say that you want to display the last 30 lines of a file. Okay, so that's how you do it. Clear is for clearing up the console. Okay, just so you know. Alright, so remove, let's do some removing. Okay, so do RM for removing, you know, I'm going to remove file 4. So you just basically delete it. Now remember, in Unix or Linux, right, once you remove something, it's gone. Okay, I don't believe you can bring it back anymore. It's just gone. There's no recycle bin. In Windows you have that, but not in Unix. Once you remove it, it's done. Okay, now same thing with the directories. Okay, if you need to remove a directory, you also have to use -RF again. Now remember, we for copying we also use -RF. Okay, and for removing we also have to use RF. So if I want to remove, let's copy this. I don't want to. Okay, it's okay, so if you want to remove it, you have to do -RF to remove it. Okay, so now I don't see it anymore. Okay, and you know, every option, almost every option has a -I. Okay, so let me copy it again, and then we'll try to do you know, it doesn't prompt. Oh no, because okay, so if you do -I on the file, not on the directory, because we already did that -F, right? So F will ignore all the warnings. So if we take out the -F, I think it will. Oh, dang it! Let me copy this, and then yeah, see, it will ask you to descend into the directory. You say yes, you know, to delete everything in there. Descend into this, yes. Yes, see, it goes to the each directories, and then basically prompt you on every file. You know, which one. Can we type A or no? Okay, so you have to yes, you have to for every file it will prompt you. Okay, so that's for -I, basically a prompt basically. Now if you need to create a directory, you can do mk for make, and then dir for directory. So make directory, and then you put in the directory name, test3, let's say, you know. Now if you need you could change the, when you create the directory, you could also specify permissions, you know, so you don't have to do the extra step if you don't want. But you know, sometimes it's easier to remember less options. But if just to show you, you can also do that. You know, you can also specify your permissions. You just do -m, and then you know, specify your permission there. Okay, and then there you go. Now you have your permission set in one command. Okay, so that's how you do that. Sometimes, you know, maybe you have a script, and then in your script it will create a directory, and then you know, if you create a directory on an existing directory, right? So we already have a test2 here, right? And then we try to make it, we're trying to create test2 directory again. Okay, it will give you like a, you know, one error. Okay, so basically it's the same file access. Now if you don't want to ignore that error, right, you can do a -p to ignore that. Okay, so now there it is. Yep, so that's ignoring. All right. Okay, and then this one is the if you need to tar something, if you need to group a bunch of files into one file, into like a zip file sort of in a Windows environment. But in the so if you need to like create like maybe like a zip file or something, like, you know, basically group a bunch of files, directories into one file, you know, you could do that, you know. So what you can do tar, okay, cvf, okay, and then the tar name, the final file name, you know, one file that tar, okay, and then everything after this parameter can be any files you want to add into there, you know, file1.txt, file2.txt, pro.pl, test1, test3, and so on and so on. Okay, now you see it puts everything into there. Okay, so now now you see one big file in there, one file. Okay, now this is done without compression. This is done without compression. If you want to do compression, you know, you can add a Z before it. Put a Z in there. Oh, actually, the order doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, just put a Z in there. Now, notice that it returns a little bit slowly, right? Because that, you know, it takes some time to compress. Okay, and also there's also like when you work with gzip, right, which is a compression utility, you can specify, like, you know, if you want the compression to be done fastest, or if you want to have the best compression ratio. You know, you can choose that. You can choose that, and you know, and then you based on what you need in there. Okay, so now this one. So before it's like 229. Okay, now it's a 221. Okay, so it's just a slightly. Now if you can do just gzip. Gzip is the utility to compress. Okay, but before that, I have a couple more options, tar options that I want to go over. Okay, now if you want to untar it, right, if you need to extract everything out from this file, right, you can do xvf. Okay, yes, I forgot to mention that. Okay, so these options, right, so Z is for compression. Okay, C is for create, V is for verbose. So verbose means that it will list out all the files that you're trying to group together. Okay, and then F will be, I believe, let me see what I believe is the is for ignoring the warnings or something. Just double check. You can, of course, you guys I hope I mentioned this. You guys can always oh, F is for the file name, right? F is for file name. So like, you know, everything. So F should be the last one. Should be the last character in the options. Okay. So that's that. So we just let's do untolling. Okay. So for untolling, X is X. Okay. X is the one that's used for extracting. X is for extract. Okay. C is for create. Okay. So if you extract file 1.tar, okay, we set the V. That's why you see it in there. So now you see all these files in there that are being extracted. Okay. Now when you untol something, it will overwrite every existing files. Okay. So just, you know, make sure you don't you should definitely don't try to overwrite all the existing files if there are differences. Okay. Now notice the tar file is still there. Okay. Now if you don't want to extract it, you just want to see what's in there, right? You can do a T. Okay. T is for listing out all the files in there. Okay. So that's what you can do. You can look into the file. You see that all these files are in there, and you don't have to extract it yet. Okay. So I'm going to remove this one, and then I'm going to show you how to add contents to an existing tar file. So to add another file, so let's create a tar file first before we get anywhere. One file.tar, and then I'm going to put the test1 in there, and then file 1.txt, file 2.txt. Okay. So I put all these files in there, right? So I have this one tar file, right? Now if I want to add another file in there, if I want to add this perl.pl in there, right? What I can do is tar, okay, and then minus R, okay. R is for like appending the file into there, and then and then F for specifying the file name, the tar file name, which is the one file.tar. Okay, and then you put in the, you know, your files in there. Okay, the txt, paste the HTML. Okay, so now if you look into the tar file, okay, now you see Perl data and page in there. Okay, so now it's appended. Okay, so that's what it is. All right. Now, if you create the tar file, compress it. If you didn't compress it, you can compress it again with gzip. Okay, and then the file name. Okay, it doesn't have to be tar. It can be any file. But you know, in this case, I want to compress the one file.tar. Okay, and then press enter. It takes me some time to compress that much of information. It's not slow. It's just my machine. It is, because it's a virtual machine. It has to share resources. Okay, so you notice that like everything that's compressed with gzip will end with .gz. Okay, so if you .gz, right? If you see .gz, most likely it was compressed with gzip. Okay, so to decompress, right? You have to specify -d. So -d is for the decompress. Okay, and then it specifies the file name in there, and then it will decompress. Okay, so now you see that .gz is gone. .gz is gone. Okay, so I mentioned that like you can specify which one, if you want to have the fastest compression or if you want to have the best compression. Okay, so what you can do is like I believe +1 is the so this, you can specify a range, right? There's +1 and then all the way to like a +9. You know, you can specify a number in between, you know, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so I believe let me double check the manual. I don't use this much, so I need references. Okay, let me see. Where is it? Huh. It doesn't say anymore. Okay, weird. Anyway, I believe gzip plus 1 is for the fastest compression. Okay. No such, huh? Oh, I'm sorry, not plus 1. I'm sorry. There's gotta be minus 1 then. I just compressed. I need to decompress it. Okay, so gzip minus 1. Okay, is for the I believe is for the fastest compression. Okay, and then gzip minus 9. So you will have a range, right? So let me decompress it again. And then gzip minus 9 is for the best compression ratio. Okay. But that's that. Okay, yeah, you don't see much differences in here. But if it's a large file, you will see like a big difference. Anyway, so let's move on to the next one. Alright. So I just went over like how to change your permissions, right? So let's go over that again. So you have change mod. Okay, change mod is for changing the permission. Okay, and then specify number 777, and then the file name in there. Okay, and then what 777 means, like if you have studied the binary, right? You have 3 bits, right? So if 3 bits are all set, that's equivalent to 7. If you have studied binary, if not, you should look it up on like a binary numbers, how to calculate that. But basically, if 3 bits are set, it's 7. Okay. Now these 3 bits, okay, it stands for the RWX. Okay. So 7 in this case, right? 7. It actually means 3 bits are all set. Okay. So that means reading is set, writing is set, and executable is set. Okay. So that means the user can read, write, and execute this file. Okay. Now if you put something else, right? Let's say 6, right? 6 in bits is 110. Okay, which in this case it will be RW and then a minus. Okay, because remember minus is for negative. Okay, is for unset. Okay, so if you have 2 bits that are set, the first 2 bits that are set, then you have RW. Okay, so whenever this so you have to look into that. Like let's say 5, right? 5 in binary is a 101. Okay, so that will be R minus X. Okay, now you see that 1 always sets the bit. Okay, 0 always means a minus. Okay, so that's what it is. So if I do a minus, so in this case, let's change something else. Okay, 567. Okay, okay, so 567, 5 means a 101. Okay, 6 means a 110, 7 means 111. Okay, in this case it will be R minus X, R W minus, and then RWX. Okay, so you see that this is what the output should be, and this is what we have here. Okay, so of course, like sometimes you find it very confusing. So let me change it back to let me see, 600. Okay, let me change it back. Okay, so there's so many other ways to change it, right? So you have the change mod plus X. Okay, well, plus X means that set all the executable bits. Okay, so plus X means set all the executable bits. Okay, so if you do that, okay, it sets, see, all the executable bits are set. Okay, and then if you can also do change mod minus X. Okay, there you go, all the executables bits are unset. Okay, so that's plus and minus, and of course you can also do like plus W, or you can do a minus W plus R, or -R. You can use all these options. Okay. Now there's also another way to do it, right? Another way. There's so many ways to do it. Okay. So another way is you can do so I explained that, like, the first set is for user, the second set is for group, and the third set is for everyone else. Okay, so what you can do, if you just want to set the user's permission, right? You can just do U. Let's say I want to set the executable for the owner, right? For the owner, which is the first set, right? So it will be U plus X, and then the file name. Okay, U means the owner of the file. Okay, so I want to give the owner of the file executable permission. Okay, so if I press enter now, I have X here. Okay. For the group members, right, you can do G. Okay, so G is for group members. Okay, so you can G plus X, you are setting the executable for the group members, which is the second set right here. Okay, now for all the others, you can do O plus X or O minus X. Plus is for setting the bits, minus for unsetting the bit. So now you see all the other ones are all set. Okay, so that's that. Now, so what happens if you have a directory and then you want to set all the permissions and for all the contents inside that directory, right? So whatever contents in the directory, you want to set it for the same permission. You want to give it the same permission, as the directory, right? So you could do a recursive permission setting, right? So you set a permission recursively in the directory, right? So what you can do is change mod, minus big R. Okay, it's a little bit different. I don't know why they're using big R, but usually it's a small. But yeah, it's a minus big R, and then 777, the permission you want to do, and then test1. Okay, which is the directory. Okay, so now you see test1. Everything's set. Okay, now if I want to go in there, okay, you see, recursively it does everything. It changes the permission recursively, and even in the downloads here, everything's set. Okay, so that's for recursive changing the permissions. Is it 30 minutes yet? Let me see. Oh, I went over. Alright, I'm sorry guys, I have to stop. I don't want to make this like 40 minutes video. So, I'll continue next time. I still have a couple more commands I didn't cover, but I'll cover next time on the awk and set commands. And so stay tuned. Now make sure to subscribe to my Facebook page, facebook.com/FuzzyCast, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/UJDesigner85, and also follow me on the Twitter at FuzzyCast. Okay, so I'll see you next time.